guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video where we have a lot of topics to cover, but the biggest one is that Mbappe is still hesitant over whether to accept Real Madrid's proposal, and that leaves the door open for Liverpool to swoop in if they decide to alter their wage structure quite a bit, and that's still a possibility that Liverpool could go for Mbappe because Mbappe will be a free agent, so we only have to pay his wages and also a big signing bonus, but Liverpool could afford his wages in theory. If we add up the wages of Salah, Matip and Thiago, that could be Mbappe's wages, but of course Liverpool would have to make a lot of adjustments in the wage structure, and there is a report in The Athletic that Mbappe had been leaning towards joining Real Madrid, but influential members of his entourage of Mbappe, his advisors and some of his family members have been left unconvinced of Real Madrid's offer, which is delaying the process and also opening the door to Liverpool, because Mbappe is a big fan of Jurgen Klopp, he's a big fan of Liverpool, and he's a big fan of the Liverpool project in general and the kind of football that Liverpool played. But of course Liverpool first have to sort out the sporting director and the manager, and then after those are sorted, maybe we can go for Mbappe. But imagine what a brilliant, ambitious signing it could be if Liverpool opened the new era under, hopefully, Xabi Alonso with a blockbuster announcement that we are signing Mbappe. I'm a Liverpool fan, so I can dream, eh? If you enjoy these type of videos, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so you never miss the latest updates around Liverpool FC. And Real Madrid's president, Florentino Perez, has been directly involved in the transfer talks. Before, in 2022, when Real Madrid tried to sign Mbappe, Florentino Perez was not as involved as right now. He has been in direct contact with Mbappe, and he has been the main driving force behind Real Madrid's latest move for a player who turned them down 2 years ago. Despite at one point, Real Madrid felt secure and sure that Mbappe had agreed a move to them. Real Madrid are not able to match Paris Saint-Germain's offer, which is a huge signing bonus and a huge wage offer, but sources with knowledge of the case say Florentino Perez feels that he has once again done everything possible to sign Mbappe and still hopes and believes that Mbappe will accept Real Madrid's proposal. The Madrid president has attempted to convince Mbappe that signing for Real Madrid would take his profile to another sporting level and another level marketing wise. The brand deals and the sponsorship deals that Mbappe could get would be even higher if he's a Real Madrid player, but that's true for Liverpool as well. If Mbappe signed for Liverpool, the commercial deals, the brand deals, the sponsorship deals that personally Mbappe could get would be also even higher, but probably it would be the highest if he joins Real Madrid. I'm not gonna lie. The Madrid president has attempted to try and talk to Mbappe himself personally so that Mbappe signs for Real Madrid, but the fact that Mbappe is still not convinced about it probably is a money issue, because on the sporting level Real Madrid are galaxies ahead of Paris Saint-Germain. Real Madrid are the biggest club in the world. I think we can safely say that without any bias, honestly. So I'm not sure what the Mbappe entourage is unhappy about. Probably they want Real Madrid to match the wages of Paris Saint-Germain. And I think there is something seriously wrong in football when Paris Saint-Germain, in terms of global stature and global pedigree, they are on a much lower level than Real Madrid. And yet Paris Saint-Germain, because they are owned by a country, one of the richest countries in the world, Qatar, Paris Saint-Germain can offer Mbappe more than Real Madrid, and there is something seriously wrong with football if that's the case, that Real Madrid can't match Paris Saint-Germain's offer, but that's the world that we live in, sadly, nowadays. One source claimed that Perez has been unusually closely involved in the negotiations in this Mbappe transfer saga. In this case, however, there can be no guarantees, and such efforts proved fruitless in the past. Real Madrid offered a huge wages and signing bonus to Mbappe previously, and Mbappe still turned them down. So there is no guarantee that Mbappe won't turn down Real Madrid again. At the Santiago Bernabeu, sources are still waiting for a definitive answer from Mbappe that they will expect to arrive soon. According to the report, imported voices among Mbappe's camp point out that Real Madrid's offer is below what Mbappe earns at Paris Saint-Germain right now, or could earn from another potential club. I mean, what kind of club is that? Because I'm not sure if Liverpool offered more wages than Real Madrid. Maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know the offer of Real Madrid. I don't know the offer of Liverpool. But maybe Liverpool even offered more money to Mbappe personally than Real Madrid, because Liverpool have more money right now than Real Madrid to spend, after Real Madrid spent huge amounts of money on Bellingham and Camavinga and Tchouaméni and other players in recent years. Liverpool's spending have been a little bit lower, and with Liverpool coming back to the Champions League next season, we will have huge amounts of money to spend again. And key figures at Paris Saint-Germain recalled that in recent weeks they felt more pessimistic about securing Mbappe's renewal, Mbappe signing a new contract. Sources at PSG recalled that the player last summer decided against taking up an option to stay for an extra year, and they are aware that has repeatedly expressed his admiration for Real Madrid. Sources at PSG say the club feels relaxed about the situation. They feel protected economically by the fact that Mbappe would pass up the opportunity to collect a bonus that was due to him last summer to the value of at least 80 million euros. Imagine you are in a financial situation that you can just say, you know what, I don't need that extra 80 million euros. That is absolutely crazy, but that is the crazy world of top footballers and what they are earning. It's an absolutely insane galactic level. On a sporting level, PSG insists it is committed to building a balanced project that does not depend on individuals but has the collective in mind, first of all. And they moved away from the Galactico project, where they signed Neymar and then they signed Mbappe and then they signed Messi. I think they signed Mbappe first, then Neymar, then Messi. And that Galactico approach, which worked so well at Real Madrid, failed miserably and spectacularly at PSG. It blew up in their faces, basically, that strategy. So they pivoted to another strategy, and I think they could be much more successful with this, that they signed a lot of younger, talented players, and also a lot of French players, Kolo Muani, Ousmane Dembele. They signed those kind of players not just because they are brilliant, but also because Mbappe is French, and they wanted to do everything to try and keep Mbappe, and so far it has worked for them. But the big test will be probably tonight against Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad has no goals scored in 4 games, and if Paris Saint-Germain again fail to reach the final or the semi-finals of the Champions League, then it will put even more doubt into Mbappe's head of whether it's a good situation to stay at Paris Saint-Germain or not. I think this is the perfect time to leave PSG. He's 25 years old, he's at the peak of his powers, and for the next 5 or 6 years, he really needs to join a much stronger league, either the Premier League or La Liga, where he can show the world that he can win the biggest trophies with those clubs. Of course, his dream was to win the Champions League for Paris Saint-Germain, which is his boyhood club. He's from Paris, Mbappe, so he has a very emotional connection to the city, to the club of Paris Saint-Germain, and he wanted this dream more than anything else, to win the Champions League with PSG. But they have not been good enough so far. But let's see what happens this season. The perfect scenario for Mbappe is to win the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain this season, and then to ride into the sunset towards Real Madrid or Liverpool in the summer after completing this lifelong dream of his. Also, Tim Steidten, who has been linked to the Liverpool sporting director job. He's the technical director at West Ham, and he was recently asked about Liverpool's interest, and he said something very interesting. Florian Plettenberg is reporting this for Sky Sports Germany. I've heard that I'm supposed to be on the list at Liverpool. It is one of the biggest clubs in the world, so it's an honor. But so far nobody from Liverpool FC has contacted me yet. I generally feel very comfortable at West Ham. I quickly realized how intense the Premier League is. Accordingly, we signed the right players in the last transfer windows. The squad is strong, so we can achieve achieve our goals. I'm looking forward to facing the next weeks and months until the end of the season. Of course, we are already planning the transfer window. What happens to the future, we will see. But I think he also partly came out with this interview to reassure West Ham fans that the club is going in the right direction. After losing 6-0 at home to Arsenal, they needed some good news, some good PR exercise in the press, something positive to read about, I'm sure. And yes, it's true that West Ham are going in the right direction generally, even though they got absolutely destroyed by Arsenal. Overall, they are having a pretty good season. They are in and around the European places. They are in 8th place with 36 points. But yeah, no wins in 5 games. It doesn't look good for West Ham. And they are praying that Liverpool wins the League Cup and also another top 6 club wins the FA Cup, because that way even 7th place could qualify for the Conference League. At the moment, they are level on points with 7th place Newcastle, so West Ham in theory could finish in 7th place, but I can't see West Ham overtaking Man United, who are in good form, or Aston Villa, even though Aston Villa had some big injuries, and I think their top 4 hopes will disappear with these injuries, like suffering 3 ACL injuries. The Aston Villa squad is very unlucky and they have been decimated by those injuries. And Miguel Delaney, who is a chief football writer at The Independent, is warning Mbappe that he could be in danger of wasting his immense talent. And that might sound harsh for someone who shown in 2 World Cup finals, and he already won a World Cup and won a lot of trophies with the Paris Saint-Germain as well. But that's also the reality, that the center of football's gravity has shifted to the club game, which is where impact is now most lasting. The fact that Mbappe recently created the most headlines with these transfer rumors is they don't like it at Paris Saint-Germain. The hierarchy at PSG have become frustrated that every 6 months there is an Mbappe transfer saga, and Mbappe might see that as a part of the game, and he likes the media buzz around him probably, but it is a problem for his legacy. Miguel Delaney says the view is now shared in France. It shouldn't be overlooked how deeply he is personally concerned with that. It is why he was said to be absolutely devastated after losing that World Cup final and the chance to emulate Pelé. Pelé won 3 World Cups, and Mbappe wanted to be the next player to achieve that feat. And PSG expect Mbappe to go to Real Madrid, but that is no longer seems so certain, Delaney reports. Florentino Perez has become just as frustrated with Mbappe as Paris Saint-Germain as well. Real Madrid did everything in 2022 to try and sign Mbappe. They offered him the world, and he still turned them down. Probably Mbappe has gradually come to the realization that he should have left Paris Saint-Germain years ago. That version of PSG was never going to allow him to fulfill his talent. His camp would also insist that the Qatari project made repeated promises that were not fulfilled, because one Paris Saint-Germain coach said that the Paris Saint-Germain environment doesn't encourage excellence. There is too many distractions, too many players pulling in all kinds of different directions. And Mbappe's options are oddly limited, because not a lot of clubs can offer Mbappe the wages that he's on at Paris Saint-Germain and the big signing bonuses that is required. Well, another reason why Mbappe is accused of wasting his talent is that he has become too individualistic. He's chasing individual awards, individual goals and assists, and he's not really playing for the team. He doesn't necessarily submit to the system in the way the modern game demands. And the great irony is that both Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid employ this individualistic tactical approach, because at Real Madrid they are relying on their individuals, Vinicius Junior, Bellingham, Rodrigo, to win them the games. And Real Madrid also realized that they need to change their approach from the Galactico era. They are now building a very young squad with a lot of talented players that can grow and develop. And Paris Saint-Germain don't have the same aura about them going into the knockout stages of the Champions League as in previous seasons, where they had Neymar, Messi and Mbappe. They felt like they could be unbeatable, but that blew up in their faces the first time time they faced a very serious team. And Real Sociedad, even though they are in bad form right now, they are a very serious team in the Champions League. They blitzed the knockout stages without a problem, and they are also in the top 5 in the Spanish league as well. And Paris Saint-Germain are putting together something different. They signed a bunch of young players, but that project might take 2 or 3 years to develop into a side that is capable of winning the Champions League. Right now, I don't think Paris Saint-Germain have the squad good enough to win the Champions League because of all these young players, and they need to gel and develop and grow together. The one X factor that they have is Mbappe, so it will rest on his shoulders whether he can fire Paris Saint-Germain to Champions League glory this season or not. Mbappe needs some long-awaited signature performances in the Champions League, Miguel Delaney says. A player who has twice been exceptional in the biggest football fixture of all, the World Cup final. Twice he was the man of the match. He needs to remind people of his generational quality once again. So that sets up the Paris Saint-Germain Real Sociedad game brilliantly tonight. So I will be watching that game and see how Mbappe performs. It's going to be a really interesting tie as well, because Real Sociedad are very strong and very solid as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.